Hello everyone. Today I'm sitting here with Mr. Patrick Dooley. And his background is academic and very technical background. So we're actually here today, Patrick, to talk about the blockchain, sharing your knowledge about blockchain with us. So first, before we kick this off, do you have any personal experience about this blockchain theory?
Yeah, I do, Magnus. Thanks. It's good to be here in beautiful northern Sweden. It's nice to be here. Well, one of the things I'd like to start off with is that back in 2010, I was exposed to Bitcoin. And a fella came along and said to me, hey, do you want to buy some Bitcoin? And I went, what's Bitcoin? And so he sort of explained to me a little bit, and it felt like I was in Star Trek, beam me up, Scotty. I didn't understand a word of it. And I said to him, hey, no, I'm not really into magical internet money. So I said no. And it was probably about a time, you know, I thought I was a clever chap and I understood a lot about if there was any new money, why wouldn't I know about Bitcoin? So I said, I don't think so. It was around about 2013, a few years after that, and I heard WordPress was taking Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And I started to look into Bitcoin. It was around sort of mid 2013, could have been towards the end. And I noticed it was up to $100 a Bitcoin. And I literally had the chance to have thousands of them.
Wow.
And some things, events happened in my life. And the next time I heard about Bitcoin, it had gone up to over 1,200 and back down. And it was then that I started to look into Bitcoin and crypto money and what it was all about.
So, wow, thousands of Bitcoins, huh? That must be hurting very much. So before we get actually into the blockchain, can you just talk a little bit about crypto money in a nutshell?
In a nutshell, I'll try my best. In a nutshell, well, think of it like this. Think of fiat cash. When was the last time you grabbed cash and stuck it in a big envelope and sent it across the world?
Oh, the last one I remember was my grandma sending me birthday money on that one. It was like 100 kronor or something like that.
So imagine putting in thousands and thousands of dollars. It's not likely going to happen.
No.
And there's a few good reasons for that. One of them is security. If it disappears, it's gone. You lose it. So security's a problem. And I think that when you think about it a little bit more, cash has always been in the hand. Yeah. When you've done business with people with cash, it's been in the hand. Yeah. You don't even give someone across the town cash. So you don't work with cash. It's always like this. So this cash economy was built around geographical hubs, and around geographical hubs were built. Now, we're not going to get into an economic history here. We're not going to bore you to death about that particular thing. So wouldn't it be nice if you could send cash through the telephone, or if you could send cash through the internet? Even better.
Even better. Convenient.
Basically, Bitcoin or crypto money, a blockchain-based crypto money, is based on, is just very similar to digital money or digital cash. So in a nutshell, that's what it is.
Thank you for that.
But there are a couple of other things to think about. When you send digital cash or digital money, especially in the coins that we work with, they are 100% secure, and they cannot get lost, because you send it from like an SMS, you send it to someone's phone, you send it to someone's wallet, and it can only go to you, and it's encrypted, so it's safe, no one can steal it on the way.
That's good.
So this is sort of different than cash, so it allows us to do a lot of other things, and we'll get into that in a minute, because I'd like to go on a big rant, and I won't do that for you at the moment.
Thank you for that. I mean, okay, that makes actually sense. So, for example, what is about blockchain has changed your view on money?
Oh, it's a big question. I mean, it sounds like a little question, but it's got a big answer. I'll keep it down to small things. When your mindset is clear, as clear as my mindset about blockchain technology and how crypto money works, it'll be change your mindset as well. Think about the bigger picture. I know not everyone understands, and your viewers out here, I know they might not understand fractional reserve banking. So Google that, fractional reserve banking. But when I found out about that, oh, geez, it made me mad. And we're not going to talk about that in a big picture, but basically that dilutes, fractional reserve banking dilutes cash. And the money that we had 50 years ago, 20 years ago, we can't buy the same thing, and fractional reserve banking is part of that. It's inflationary, and your viewers don't want to hear a big, boring economic discourse. But the interesting thing about it is that with blockchain technology, it's finite, much like gold.
Oh.
Where fractional reserve banking and governments, they can just make as many cash notes as they want. They just can keep printing them out as they feel fit for their economy. But with the blockchain technology, there's a certain amount of it, similar to the way gold is.
Good. Just a quick one. What is fiat cash?
Fiat cash is a Latin word. It means it shall be. It's really just the name that governments have put on legal tender, like krona or dollars. That's euros. That's all it means.
Okay. Crypto money and the blockchain. So, what is the blockchain?
What is the blockchain? It's a very good question. In simple terms, the blockchain is the protocol that Bitcoin was built on. Many explain it like this. Think of the way the internet we use today was used for information. It was baseline built for information. And it's a communications protocol to send information on. The blockchain is like this. It's sort of the internet for value. It's a protocol that you build value on.
Understandable.
Okay, so one of the reasons that the internet was so successful, the internet of communication, is the fact that it's an open protocol and people can innovate on it. And what I mean by innovation, I mean by people who come in with software companies and develop software for people to get value out of using the information highway, so to speak. And if you remember Netscape, it's taken us back a few years now, but Netscape came on and built a browser. And then there were a few graphic interfaces where we could send emails, and out of that the World Wide Web came on. But the baseline protocol that it was built on wasn't really usable for us. In simple terms, the blockchain protocol is very similar to that, but it's for payments and finances.
Right.
So for the last, say, 2009 to today, we're filming in 2015, so the last 5 years there has been this internet protocol for the blockchain, and development started to happen for the internet of value. And that's what the blockchain is. Instead of sending information, we can send value.
Okay. We of course have a lot of geek words. One of them is of course protocol. Can you explain more about protocol?
I've been using protocol. Sorry, I'll define. Protocol, the way I'm using the word protocol, it just means an official procedure or a set of rules in a system. The blockchain, in simple terms, is a distributed database. Another way to say that is it's a distributed ledger. It's open, it's public, it's transparent, it's lightning quick. It's very efficient and it's cheap to use. Just think for a minute, think how the Internet of Information makes it possible for you to send instantly text, anyone, anywhere in the world, a bit of information, a link or something. In a similar way, we have the ability in the blockchain and blockchain-based crypto money to send it to anyone, anywhere in the world. So we can send this, and this piece of blockchain, this crypto coin, I can send to you, and it's sort of like, as I said earlier, like sending digital cash.
Okay, can you explain once again, in simple terms, how this open protocol can actually have ability to transform in the world of retail?
That's a good question, Magnus. So there are many ways to look at this question, and there are no simple terms, but I'll give it a go. Since 2009, what's been happening, as I explained earlier, we've been building up this space for blockchain. And with this space that we've been building, it's now at a time for adoption to retail. For the last few years, it hasn't really had the infrastructure or the architecture for someone in one of those shops down there to receive. Like they can all receive with plastic money right now. They can use a plastic card and they can send money. They can do it on the phone or the internet. They can do it through a fax. They can go in. But
for a big cost, of course.
Yeah, well, sure, there's a huge cost, but let's not go into that. So with the adoption of not just Bitcoin, but other crypto money that are based on a legitimate blockchain, so
Yeah.
it's public, like I said earlier. They can now, retailers, as you asked, retailers can now accept it, and they can also retain their crypto coins. They can also change it back into fiat cash. There are many systems to allow to use that. So it's opened up a larger... There's another point too, there's an extremely important point. There is no issues with security. So one is it's safe, but more importantly, and this is something to think about if you're a retailer out there, there's no chargebacks. It's like cash. Once you've got the cash, you've got it.
Yeah.
So when you send something and you've got the coin, you own that coin.
Yeah.
Another point, real important point. Did you know that about a quarter of the world's population are what we call banked? In other words, they have access to buy online.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So 3/4 of the world's population do not.
Wow.
So they don't have access to internet online banking, simply because they don't have plastic.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
This allows the other 3/4 of the world's population to get into the game. And while I'm on that point, microeconomy. In other words, you can send 0.0000001% of a crypto coin, which they call it a Satoshi. So that's a very small piece.
Yeah.
So if the value of the coin goes to hundreds or scores of hundreds or thousands of dollars, euros or pounds, you can still just send a little bit.
Yeah.
So it makes the microeconomy for especially developing countries around the world, they can send to each other. And another thing is, today, a lot of the developing countries that were part of that 3/4 of the population that we consider underbanked, they have access to mobile telephones, smart telephones, and the internet right throughout Asia and South America and Africa. It's all, so they've leapfrogged a massive industry of 100 years of development of infrastructure by just putting towers up, and they are now hungry and want to participate in the world's economy. There's another point that we should talk about as well. With localization, that's the cash.
Yeah.
But then we have regionalization. That's got to be a different way to pay. And then we have nationalisation. That can't be cash again. And then we have globalisation products. So it means for retailers, if you want to grow, you can easily grow without extra costs of payment systems. I know that's a lot of information, but it's important.
It is very important, absolutely. Well, it's a lot to take in, Pat, here. There's a lot of information, of course. But do you have any simple points to break down the blockchain and the Leo coin in a small nutshell?
A shameless plug, Leo. It's a global peer-to-peer payment system. That's one.
Yeah.
It's open to anyone who has access to a smartphone or a computer in the internet. It's open source. It's decentralized. That decentralized means that no one else controls it. You don't need a government. You don't need a bank. There is no need for middleman nor any other central authority. As I said before, it's like digital cash. You can spend right here, right now with you. Like you go, boom.
Thank you.
Or it could be across the state, the city, right across the country. Here's an important point. For to be legitimate blockchain-based cryptocurrency, you've got to be able to mine it. We're not going to talk about mining today, but it means you can go and get the software, put it on your computer, press a few buttons, actually a lot of buttons, do some programming, and you can mine it. In other words, you can make your own crypto money. It's a very important point.
Absolutely.
If a company is out there saying that they will lease you, that's also making it really easy. You can lease it from a company as well. But if you cannot do that, if you don't have the ability to grab the software and mine it, it's a good chance it's not open source, nor is it blockchain based. Because there are many companies out there that do that. They just offer a different service, and our service is based on the original technology of blockchain crypto money. Does that make sense?
Makes very much
Now there's one more point that's got to be really clear. You've got to be able to go into an open exchange and buy and sell.
Yeah, you mean so even if I'm not...
Like NASDAQ, right?
Yeah,
Not like
exactly.
New York Stock Exchange or something. So you've got to go into a stock exchange or a crypto money exchange, and just as a customer, come in and open an account, buy and sell and trade and use the coins. So there are some companies out there that you have to become a member
Yeah.
of their company to use their coin. Be wary about those companies. Some of them are great companies to do so, but be on your way. Have a look at those points that I just mentioned.